ESPN's Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. A champion will be crowned in our 4-team tournament here at the Prudential Center in Newark. Undefeated Providence at 5-0 and 3-2 Virginia, playing for a big last basketball. The championship trophy of the Roman Legends Classic. Welcome back to Newark. A pleasant good evening to you. Happy Feast Week. Kevin Brown with Jersey John Crispin. Fun start to our tournament. Good games yesterday. Virginia beating Georgia, Providence defeating Northwestern, and now a chance for this Providence Friars team to open some more eyes in what's been a surprising hot start.
Yeah, I think people didn't know what to expect from Providence, but with Ed Cooley teams, they're going to be well coached, they're going to be tough, they're going to be disciplined, and so far that's what we've seen. But ultimately, it starts down low with Nate Watson. Coach Ed Cooley loves this guy, not just for the production on the floor, but he says he's one of the nicest dudes on the team. At times, he needs him to be a little bit nastier. We got to see a little nasty last night, and I'm sure we're going to go back to this time and time again. Yeah, that nasty. That's what he's looking for from Nate Watson. Dominate the game physically, especially early.
Question for Virginia. Well, there are a lot of questions right now. They've lost a lot from last year, but one of the big questions, who steps up, who scores? Who's your bucket getter on this team after all the scoring lost? And last night it was Armaan Franklin.
Yeah, it's not really a bucket getter on this Virginia program. It's a guy that fits within the system and can get buckets within that system, and that is Armaan Franklin, from my opinion. He's a guy that can space out, do it from the perimeter. He makes good reads. He's also shown, based on his performance last night, that he is coachable too. I mean, that's the thing. There are some guys that come into a new program, want to get theirs. He's done it within the system. Will be interesting tonight seeing him go against a former teammate in Aljamain Durham, who's now at Providence, both transferring in from Indiana.
Franklin tying career high last night with 23. Durham had 11 points, 7 assists for Providence. Tony Bennett looking for win number 299 at UVA tonight. National champion in 2019. Virginia won its 5th ACC championship in the past 8 seasons last year. Remember how their season ended. They beat Syracuse in the ACC tournament and had to withdraw after the quarterfinals because of a COVID issue. They were the last team to arrive in Indianapolis. One practice, a shoot-around, upset by Ohio in the first round. But all in all, another successful year for Virginia. Picked 4th in the ACC this season, but only 2 of their top 8 scorers return. Jaden Gardner at the end of that huddle, expected to be a big scorer. East Carolina transfer. And on the other end, Ed Cooley, 199 wins, 5 NCAA tournament appearances. It was a down year for him in Providence last year. 13-13, 9-10 in the Big East. He said it was a year I'd love to forget. We didn't have a connection to each other. And when we talked to Ed yesterday, he emphasized the much greater connection of this team.
Yeah, and I think connectedness is a word we're going to use a lot this year when you think about all the new pieces on every team. I mean, there are mid-majors that have 5 new guys, all transfers. There are programs like Georgia who we just covered, 10 new players, right? 5 Division I transfers. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. 2 JUCO transfers and 3 freshmen. Good luck finding connectedness early in the season with that group. So that is what you're looking for, and the connectedness doesn't just come from scoring baskets. It comes from communication. It comes from understanding what you're trying to accomplish as a unit. So far, so good for both of these teams in this tournament.
Away we go. DJ Karstensen throws it up. Brian O'Connell, Bill Covington, our other officials. Good officiating crew, good basketball game, great arena to watch it. We're delighted to be with you on Tuesday of Thanksgiving week in Providence, in possession first. Friars have the same starting 5 as yesterday. That means Justin Minaya makes his 2nd straight start off the bench. In for A.J. Reeves, and it's turned over. A steal for Reese Beekman, his 16th steal. And now start number 6 for the Virginia sophomore.
You might as well give that steal to the 2 bigs doubling. Good immediate double. You've got to protect guys like Cedric from foul trouble. Got into foul trouble last night. Can't be the case tonight with Nate Watson on the floor.
Starting lineup's brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. There's Virginia's 5, and here's Horkler up top from Bynum. An explosive start for Providence. Noah Horkler, the 2nd-year Friar, transferred from North Florida with the opening bucket.
Horkler's a great transfer get, right? He's a guy who moves the basketball, never sticks in his hands. He can shoot it, he also runs the floor and defends really well. He allows you to play with space, which is important when you have a guy, Nate Watson, that you need to get the ball to down low.
Here's Reese Beekman. Beekman shot blocked by Jared Bynum. Jaden Gardner is Jaden on the spot for the first two for Virginia. Cavaliers with Clark and Beekman in the backcourt. Franklin, Gardner, and Caden Shedrick. O'Reilly starting lineups for Providence. Jared Bynum at 15 points yesterday. Durham, Hortler, Minaya, and the All-American candidate, Nate Watson. Providence trying to solve this Virginia defense, which is always one of the nation's best. Durham hoists and rattles in a deep three. He made just one shot from the field yesterday.
I'm not sure Virginia's worried about that shot, though, right? You run the shot clock down, you switch off, which you're still prepared to double down and scramble out of, and you force out Durham to make a 25-footer. Oh, okay.
What'd you say? There are clappable misses.
Clappable misses, yeah. And that's a fool's gold make.
Fool's gold make. Shedrick inside. Missed a bunny, and here is Bynum, redshirt junior point guard for Providence.
Try to point out a clappable miss at some point.
All right. Bynum momentarily had Shedrick on him. He recovers. Clark out on Bynum, a very good defensive guard. Clark and Beekman, excellent perimeter defenders. Watson on the perimeter misses. Hortler goes over the back of Gardner legally, and it is Providence ball.
And Providence doing a good job getting out and running. You really do want to pick up pace as best as possible, capitalize on turnovers. This is a good job by Bynum, just freezing the defense just long enough to be able to make that pass over top of Kihei Clark. Which I guess it's not that hard to throw over Kihei Clark, no offense.
He's 5'10". Not offense, just statistics.
I know people are sensitive these days. You gotta watch it.
Hortler very good yesterday. Hit a couple of big threes late. Leading rebounder for the Friars this year.
Looks so different with his hair down.
I think he's got a little more facial hair in reality than he did in that photo too. I like the look.
It's the Viking look. That's good.
Yes, the Viking look.
They're in right now.
Very Noah Syndergaardian. Hortler trying to body up Gardner. Hortler will be called for a personal foul.
All right, so it's probably a foul, right? And by definition, that's a foul. But what are you going to do when you're covering a guy like Jaden Gardner, who is just backing you down? That's the thing they're trying to clean up, but it is so hard because a defender, all you can do is push back.
I would say don't do that to Gardner, though. Don't leave him wide open. He's got the first four for Virginia, the first team all-conference performer from East Carolina University.
I think early in the season, I've seen more sets and out-of-bounds underneath work for teams offensively than ever before, and I think it goes back to that connectedness that we've talked about, right? The communication just isn't there yet.
Watson from Durham, a couple of dunks early for Providence, and some excellent passing from Al Durham.
Excellent passing, just a great seal, and good patience by Nate Watson, staying on that side, holding the seal, and knowing that the ball's coming back his way.
This is Kihei Clark, two-time All-ACC player, most experienced player in this system. Franklin, step-back three for Franklin, who has not shot it well from deep this year.
Now, that was a because I shot it well last night, I feel good about letting this fly. I mean, that wasn't him to start the game last night. He really took his time, but once he got a few to go, he started to seek out opportunities. That was a confident jumper.
Just 7 for 30 from three this season. He ties the score at 7. Both teams shooting at 3 for 5 in the opening stretch. Durham with Beekman on him. One of the best on-ball defenders in the country. Durham over the top. Another contested three late in the shot clock for Durham, and this one does not fall.
The ball's got to move a little bit. Sometimes you got to carve up the defense with hard, decisive cuts. Not much there. You allowed Virginia to reset their defense 3 separate times on one possession.
Shedrick from Franklin. Watson got a hand on it. Shedrick got it back. Out to Beekman, who's not a big shooter. Franklin will take another, and he will bank it in.
I love Ed Cooley's reaction, right? Just throws his hands out. What are you going to do about that?
Each team's hit one of those. What are you going to do about that threes in the first couple of minutes? Durham and then Franklin, the two Indiana transfers. Former teammates going head-to-head in this Legends Classic final.
A little flex action here. You don't see a lot of this in college basketball. This is actually flex offense.
So far, Virginia's guarded it well. 5 to shoot. Watson out of the double. Hot potato on the perimeter. Bynum has to put it up. Off the rim, Horkler tips it right to Watson, and then Beekman got a hand in there, but it's out of bounds, no foul. It'll be Providence ball when we return. Good end-to-end action in the opening 5:31. Virginia on top of the championship game. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Roman, the digital health clinic for men, and by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef? Mike Krzyzewski, 13 consecutive 10-win seasons in the ACC. That streak was snapped last year. Tony Bennett's got a chance to catch him. Second longest in history, in between a couple of guys who won a game or two in there.
Telling me there's a chance.
There's absolutely a chance. Now, Virginia is not, at least at the start, at least on paper, the Virginia team we've known in the past decade. Worst start in 9 seasons, 4th in the preseason ACC poll, and that's because of the third note there. They had 8 players last year, averaged 10 minutes a game or more. Jay Huff, Sam Hauser to graduation. Trey Murphy went in the first round. They lost a couple of transfers. And the only 2 key players that returned were Clark and Beekman. So not the continuity we're used to seeing from Virginia. A little bit more teaching maybe for Tony Bennett early in the year.
And it's tough to teach when every day feels like you're cramming for another test.
Watson.
How about it?
Now fighting for it. The rebound down to Gardner.
I like what, not a great shot, but I like what Watson did. He didn't wait for the double to come. He just was decisive about attacking. Now, you want to take some time early in the game to figure out how they're doubling, when they're doubling, and who they're doubling from. Off of, I should say. And sometimes they won't double on the second catch. So a lot of reading here early in the game that coaches are paying attention to.
Clark backing down Bynum, backing out with 5 to shoot. Clark with 3 to shoot, pulls up. That shot deflected by Bynum. Gardner got it off in time.
I'm going to take a look at it.
Did he?
I think DJ Carson's saying shot clock violation.
Well, Covington's going to the monitor. I thought live he got it off, but we'll see.
I'm going to say live I thought he did as well. I'm usually better with a few looks in slow-mo.
Well, who among us is not?
Yeah, stripes included, right?
Oh, that's closer than I thought it was.
God almighty, that's close. I like offense, so close should always go to the offense. We like scoring. You know, it's Virginia team doesn't score a ton of points. They slow you down defensively, so you should allow every point to score.
We're going to have to
really
frame
close.
by frame this thing. And
nope.
Yeah, I think it might be on the fingertips, maybe.
Oh my God!
I can't believe we have one closer than the Greer half-court shot in the first game.
First game, Greer heave from half court was a fraction of a second.
Yeah, shot clock violation.
I think they got it right. I just like I like a bit of mistakes, allowable mistakes in basketball. So call it on the floor the way you see it. If you were wrong, so be it. I think late game situations is a different story. I like early in the game creating a little flow, right? Up and down flow. You don't want any stoppages to interrupt that rhythm and flow.
Providence hit its first 2 shots. Friars 1 for their last 6, struggling against this vaunted pack line Virginia defense.
You don't want to get into a dribbling match with Kihei Clark. He's low.
A foul away from the ball. Foul is going to go against Kihei Clark. Oh no! Oh, it's going to go on Providence's 0, Nate Watson. Originally looked like it was 0 Virginia. So Maui Jim, Maui Invitational semifinals. How about Wisconsin up 20 at the half? Had to hang on for dear life, but they upset Houston. A Wisconsin team that Providence has defeated on the road. They'll play the winner of Oregon St. Mary's in the final. That game coming up 8 Eastern on ESPN.
I feel like Houston has to win, maybe not pretty, but prettier than they did last year. I think they need to score a little more points, and Wisconsin defended and really took them out of it. So match some physicality.
It's a Houston team that beat Virginia, a Wisconsin team that lost to Providence.
So what's that mean? Answer's
I
nothing.
think there's a rock, paper, scissors deal somewhere in there, John.
Answer is absolutely
Take
nothing.
me 20 more minutes to figure it out. Ortler got a piece. Francisco Cafaro in the game on the rim, but he was fouled. And that foul is going against Justin Minaya. Here's the foul on 0 Watson.
Yeah, I didn't see it live. I guess it's that swat and swim move. They're trying to. It's not a basketball play, I assume. I mean, look, if you're going after the quarterback, great play. But not allowed on the hard court. Those are fouls too. Like as the season goes on, those are fouls. Ed Cooley's going to sit him down and say, "It just can't happen. You're too important, right?" There's so many guys that get in foul trouble, and they're too important to have on the bench. The only time it's okay to have them on the bench is when they need a rest.
And Croswell is into the game for Watson, who is resting. Malachi Poindexter, local product, walk-on in the game for Virginia, which only has 10 scholarship players this year. And a lot more than that last year. They've thinned out the roster some. Croswell unable to finish inside, and Cafaro, who just missed the free throws, with a Virginia rebound. Providence has not scored over the last 4 minutes. Virginia's not scored in creeping up on 3 minutes.
Jaden Gardner wants to duck in so badly. He's just fighting hard on that block. He wants the ball.
Clark off the shot fake. Gardner hasn't had a touch on this possession. Cafaro, big size advantage on Minaya. Can't finish, it's tipped in. Gardner was in there, Minaya was as well.
No, be real, be real. That was Croswell from Providence that probably tipped it in, but any smart offensive player that's anywhere near the rim throws his hands up to at least get the 2 points.
Oh, they got to give it to somebody, whether you throw it or not. You're getting the 2
No,
points.
just get your hand up to get credit.
No own goals here. Gardner's got 6, Franklin's got 6. The 2 transfers, all the Virginia points, and a charge drawn by Clark. That'll be Durham's first foul.
All right, Kevin, let's see who actually tipped this ball in. Can't get credit for an own goal type of thing? Let's see. That was Croswell. No, it was Minaya,
I think.
Minaya, get your hand up. 2 points. So far, so good for Virginia.
Number 1, Gonzaga. Timmy. Wow.
Crazy. They're hungry to be stars.
More on the attack and slams it down.
When the lights go out, my light will only shine brighter.
10 Eastern tonight, 1 versus 2. 10:30 Eastern Friday, 1 versus 5. Gonzaga, UCLA, Gonzaga, Duke, and Vegas. The last 4 full seasons, plus the start of this one. Gonzaga, the winningest team in Division I. Houston, and then Virginia right behind him. Virginia, the only team in that group with a national championship to its name in that stretch.
Never thought there'd be a day where we would say UCLA and Duke are chasing Gonzaga. How about that?
How about Jaden Gardner? He's got 4 for 4 made field goals, 8 points. Gardner and Franklin, the 2 transfers, have all of Virginia's 14 points. They're 6 for 6 combined.
Well, with Cafaro and Cedric on the floor, or one of them on the floor, with Jaden Gardner, he likes the matchup. And that's the key. If he gets the matchup he likes and he gets the position he likes, he's tough to stop. And he could be that other scorer. I still think you need that perimeter scorer like an Armand Franklin. But he could be that other guy at 14, 15, 16 a game.
Kihei Clark's first foul. Reese Beekman will check in. Gardner right now is outscoring Providence single-handedly. This is a player who averaged 18.5 points, 9 rebounds a game, 81 career games at East Carolina. Here's a 3. A.J. Reeves off the bench. And Watson's going to get called for a push-off. And this is one big call because that's foul number 2 on Nate Watson.
Yeah, and that goes back to that previous possession. His first foul, the swat and swim. You've got to know better because you're that important. It's hard because you say, all right, you're in a physical position. You're fighting for position down low. There you are. Not egregious in any way, but enough to get the call.
I'm going to timestamp this moment. 10:56 in the first, 14-7. Watson on the bench with 2 fouls.
I would be such an impartial, somewhat biased official because I'd always want to keep the best players on the floor. Hate to see Nate Watson come out with 2 this early.
Can you be impartial and biased?
Yeah, yes, I knew that required some explanation.
Cooley needs a timeout. Franklin still perfect. The transfers with all 17 for Virginia. We're back in 30 seconds.
7 point, you got to get that offense going. If you're Virginia, we talked about Armand Franklin. He's a guy coming off screens, seeking out shot opportunities. When he seeks out the opportunity to get a shot, you see his feet ready, you see his body ready, you see his mind ready to take and make that shot. Sometimes it's that assertion, that aggressiveness in seeking the shot out that helps you make it.
Armand Franklin's got 9, Jaden Gardner 8, Providence 7. Nobody else has scored for Virginia, and right now nobody else has needed to. Virginia has been outrageous defensively. 6-minute plus scoring drought for the Friars. Allen Breed, the point guard off the bench. Poindexter, the walk-on, is all over him. Breed, Portler, good look. Providence's best in a while. He missed it. Franklin high-pointing the rebound, which is pulled in by Croswell. Durham off the hesitation is fouled by his old buddy Franklin. One of Hoosier bumping another. Franklin's first foul.
It was a good job by Al Durham, recognizing he had an entire side of the floor to work with, and if you attack the body, it's likely you're going to get a call. You know, freedom of movement, you can't make that hand-checking contact. And defensively, it's the first thing you want to do. When you're defending the basketball, the first thing you want to do is first slide your feet and next put your hand on the guy.
Gardner and Franklin have both come out for Virginia, so right now the 5 players on the floor have combined for 0 for the Cavaliers. Durham attacks, Durham scores, breaks a scoring drought of over 6.5 Providence minutes.
You don't see that often in a Virginia defense, right? Defense is usually there on the catch, they hedge up hard, force that drive away. He was able to turn the corner, get all the way to the basket, mainly because the help side is not used to having to be there.
Beekman on the drive, too strong. Bryson Goodine into the game with a rebound, and Goodine is fouled. Beekman's first.
I say, look, if you're on the opposite side of a Virginia defense, there's a ball screen or some sort of rub action up top. There it is. I mean, Cafaro's got to turn it way out. He's got to be even further, and that's why the help side's just losing sight of the basketball a little bit. I think partially because you're so used to the big guys up top doing their job and forcing that ball out.
Igor Milicic into the game for Virginia. Shedrick back off the bench. Poindexter, Clark, and Beekman. Here's Goodine, who had 4 threes yesterday. And this time Goodine will take his first shot from 2. And it's pulled in by Clark.
Shedrick's got great length down there. Did a good job at just forcing a tougher shot. Goodine got in good position. Shedrick was there to at least deter it.
4 blocks yesterday, 15 first 5 games for Shedrick. Now, where does Virginia go for offense without Franklin or Gardner?
I don't know if I have a question for that or answer for that. I think Beekman's a guy who can become a good offensive player. He did not shoot the ball well last night. Hasn't really shot it well yet this year.
Shot clock violation, and they still don't have an answer.
You got to move a little bit more when you don't have a guy that you can say, go make a play. You got to move a little bit more and then just be opportunistic, right? Get the defense moving, get some long closeouts, attack long closeouts. Do you think Beekman's a guy I'm holding out hope for? I think he's going to have a couple breakout games, and that may change things.
Durham is bumped by Shedrick. Easy call there for Brian O'Connell. First foul, Shedrick. And Virginia will bring Carson McCorkle into the game.
McCorkle hit a big one off of a nice pin down screen yesterday. Another guy that can space the floor and confidently shoot jumpers, but that defense, you look at that, Shedrick just being late on that handoff, that's something you haven't seen in years past. Years past, they anticipate defensively as well as anybody else, and they're present on that catch, present on the ball screen, and right there ready to hedge hard.
Jared Bynum, Justin Minaya back in for Providence. Friars off to their first 5-0 start in 6 seasons. Shot it very well, better than 50% in 3 of their wins. 14 of 29 threes yesterday. Tonight just 4 for 13 for the field. And this will be another shot clock violation.
That was good defense. That was Virginia defense. Great job by Shedrick being there on the ball screens.
Another great tournament starts tomorrow. The Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis kicks off with Michigan State and Loyola. Drew Valentine Bowl, I think we can call that one, at noon Eastern on ESPN. Auburn, UConn Syracuse VCU, the defending champs, against Arizona State. Another great field down on Paradise Island. You ever been to the Battle for Atlantis?
No, but thanks for bringing it up.
Oh, I have. It's a wonderful time. You should go sometime. Our producer Joe McCoy's also been there. It's like you're the odd man out, John.
It happens.
That's where our next group vacation will be, though.
Sure.
Clark. Almost a third consecutive shot clock violation. This game has crawled to a halt, which happens in a lot of Virginia games. Bynum out of control. Bynum turns it over.
I don't know if he's out of control, if he just got clobbered.
Bynum out of control / clobbered. And Providence turns it over. More accurate?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Zubin Mehenti in our college basketball studio. Illinois, Kansas State. Pack, floater, off glass, got it. It's on ESPN News. They're at the half. Fellas, back to you.
Zubin, we'll see if we can crack 20 apiece by the half here. 7:24 to go. Providence at the underage one player who was just on the floor with a basket. Virginia had no players on the floor of the basket. No surprise here. Tony Bennett's going to say, Mr. Franklin, Mr. Gardner, get your rear ends back in there.
I mean, you and I are looking at our stats monitor, and I'm sitting there on the floor stats, and there was one dude in Horkler from Providence who scored a single basket in this game. It's not like it just started. There's 7.5 left to play.
Gardner and Franklin missed the last 3 possessions. Missed layup, shot clock violation, and then a missed shot with 1 second on the shot clock. Gardner immediately makes an impact. He feeds Cedric, and Providence comes away with a blocked shot.
Now, again, Providence doing this without Nate Watson on the floor with those 2 fouls. And this game is physical. I like that it's physical. The last play going to break I thought was pretty physical foul, but we'll see.
Watson has been on the bench for the last 4 minutes with those 2 fouls. Jared Bynum facing up Gardner. Deep into the shot clock again. Minaya, not a great 3-point shooter. Well off the iron, and the rebounder, Reese Beekman.
I was just looking at the score, kind of thinking the 6 and change left, what we're on pace for, and my reaction was not something pretty. So let's see if we can get, that's what I like, that Franklin curl, tight curl. Man, that's good. They're figuring something out with him, running the baseline and curling into the middle of the lane. You got guys like Gardner, too, who set good baseline screens, even if it's on the opposite side of the ball.
It's a great point. Gardner not just a scorer. Oh, Cedric into the 4th row. Have a souvenir, young man.
I mean, that's a row 6, seat 7 block. There's just not much there. Shedrick's done a good job getting better, keeping his head on a swivel, following the basketball, but keeping a hand on his man. His challenge has been being up and present, hedging hard. Now, guys like Jay Huff over the years, you look back and you watch him cover ball screens, they're physical on the hedge. They almost check you on the hedge. Shedrick's not there yet, but he's good in terms of protecting the rim.
Well, Providence has brought Watson back into the game with the 2 fouls. And Cooley just searching for any offense he can find, so he'll risk it a little bit with Watson. 2 fouls, 2 points in 7 minutes in the first half. The 19-point-per-game score in the first 5.
Yeah, I'd like rolling the dice a little bit, but let's see how he uses him offensively and defensively. If there's a chance to get him out of the game, I think you have to get him out because the game is physical.
The last foul, by the way, John, that was Shedrick's second. So he gets the block, and then he's out of the game, and a pass to Watson is turned over. Beekman from Franklin. The first basket scored by Virginia outside of Franklin and Gardner comes from Reese Beekman at the 5:43 mark.
It's an easy one, defense to offense. More or less a breakdown offensively for Providence. Al Durham just missed the pass. Nate Watson made a great slip to the basket.
Here's Horkler. Providence is 4 for 16 from the field. They've turned it over 6 times. They are facing the wrath of this boa constrictor Virginia defense.
Yeah, Providence, if Nate Watson gets position, they've got to find a way to get him the basketball. You don't want him over fighting for position with 2 fouls.
A little too much space there for Franklin, but he has his first miss of the game. Providence trying to cut into a 17-2 Virginia run. That's over 11+ minutes. Watson scores, finally. Providence puts the ball in the hole. Watson's second make.
Well, the best thing Watson did outside of that short roll was stop and just pull a jump shot. Don't run into the defender and pick up that 3rd foul with an offensive foul.
Gardner on the bounce from Clark. He travels.
I love watching guys, Nate Watson with 2 fouls, right? The whistle's blown, he immediately looks at the officials like, please God, don't give him 2. And this is the one I talked about. You know, Al Durham just missed the pass, and it's good to get Beekman involved offensively. And then you got to get your big guy a touch in terms of Nate Watson. See if they get back to him at some point. But again, don't want him fighting too hard for position. If he has it, get him the ball. If he doesn't, get it moving.
With the 7-1 Cafaro on him. Watson has not seen the ball in the first 20 seconds. Now he will. Watson will hold. He'll set a screen. Reeves, a contested 3. It was blocked. Franklin got a piece.
It's not a good look. Wasn't there. Sometimes you got to turn, probe a little bit with the eyes, and maybe just keep attacking in the paint. Get a little 2-man action going on there with Nate Watson on the block.
Beekman got a step on Bree. Good move. Off the glass, Cafaro.
Francisco Cafaro.
3 around Clark. Breed. Watson's tip won't go. Cafaro battling with Breed. Breed gets it back from Horkler, and Clark does so well to close out. They give no space on the perimeter, Virginia. Reeves with 7 to shoot. Short. Cafaro the rebound, cleaned up.
I've never seen a fan base cheer more for defense. Good defense in Virginia. And God bless them for it. I think, you know, in the world today, you deal with criticism. When you're really good, you deal with the criticism of the things you don't do really well. But we don't celebrate what makes them great year in, year out enough. They do need to find a little more of this. Good offense.
Franklin rattles in a 3, his 4th 3-pointer of this first half.
If you watch a guy's feet, a good shooter, if you watch his feet, you know whether it's going in or not. I'd say probably you know whether it has a better chance of going in. He got his feet set. He got squared. His release is all good.
Horkler, what a find out was by Breed. Providence needed something easy at the rim. They get him.
Providence just hasn't been able to move the ball. And that's where the Virginia defense is locked in and playing together. I think the other thing that's hurting is Nate Watson's not as much of an impact on offense because of those 2 fouls.
And Gardner had a chance to take it. He sends up Franklin instead. And Franklin misses a 3. Reeves, Providence hoping for early offense. They had Watson on Beekman. Instead, Breed missed a 3, and Watson never got a touch.
Hard, though. Hard to throw it in there if you don't have an angle. You don't know where help defense is behind, and you got Nate Watson with 2 fouls.
Tony Bennett uses his first half timeout. Armand Franklin outscoring the Friars all by his lonesome. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's.
Fran and Zubin in the studio coming up on the E-Trade halftime report. Great finish between Houston and Wisconsin. What are you seeing from that vaunted Virginia D?
Is strangulation a word? Because that's what's going on right now. On the defensive end, Virginia just 2 years ago, #1 in the country in defense. It looks like we're getting back to that.
Yes, we're in this gambling phase now at ESPN, as you fellas know. So the easiest bet ever, Virginia and the under. We'll see at the half.
Strangulation is a word, Fran Fraschilla. You know your English language.
You know, he's just trying to be sensitive about it. Look, the truth is, 18 minutes, 13 points allowed, 26% field goals, 1 of 9 from 3, 6 turnovers forced. It's not just that it's suffocating, because that's not really the type of defense they play. It's just disruptive because they give you nothing easy. Everything is earned against Virginia, and that's when they're at their best.
You got the 2 transfers making an impact again. First half yesterday, 17. 22 of Virginia's 26 tonight. Gardner trying for 2 more, and Durham has a chance to run. Providence hasn't had many of these, and Virginia gets back. Forkler inside. What do we have here? Was the shot, or was the foul before the shot? Because there could be a potential goaltend scenario here.
We're saying it was below the rim.
Maybe 2 shots, no basket.
It is impressive when you watch this defense, even this quick rotation back. Yeah, below the rim. It did get the backboard. It wasn't going anywhere. It was just going to hit the underside of the rim, but
I just wondered if it hit the backboard first.
This defense is impressive, though, because of the fact that they're not playing to turn you over, but when you disrupt rhythm so much and you take away first, second, third options so often, it forces you into turnovers, right? Forces you into bad decisions, forces you into being overly aggressive at times in bad situations where the defense is set.
Second foul, Armand Franklin, so he'll sit for the final 97 seconds of the half. Watson will check out as well. Don't want to have him pick up the 3rd foul if you're at Cooley. Little pressure for Minaya against Clark. Bounce out of it to Cody Statman into the game for the first time. Gardner wanting that elbow touch. Working back and forth. And Cafaro feeds him, and Gardner is fouled.
Fine by Cafaro. Now,
good.
The truth is, you know, we had a good angle of seeing that. Cafaro saw that before he cut, and that's where most of the best passes come from. He understands he flashed to that elbow area, and he was probably hoping Gardner made the right read. And because he did, he got the ball, and now he's at the foul line. Best plays are made through anticipation.
Gardner at East Carolina averaged 7 free throw attempts per game, 74% shooter. This season, he's averaged about 6 per game, and he's at 72%.
And it's not like you bring a guy like Jaden Gardner in and expect to get the same production he gave at East Carolina. It's just not the same system, not the same role. The hope is by the time ACC play starts up, he's in a situation that he feels comfortable with, and he feels that on any given night he can go for 10, 20 points if he's got the right matchup. But I also think he's understanding what makes Virginia historically and consistently good, and that ultimately is defense.
18-8 last year for ECU. Incredible career there, one of the all-time great Pirates. Didn't have a lot of ACC interest, basically none out of high school. Rewarded with a transfer to Virginia, one of the most successful programs in the country. Here is an offensive foul against Bynum with under a minute to go in the half.
Shoot, man, 18-8 for Virginia. It's like getting 35 and 20 someplace else.
And Gardner from Wake Forest, North Carolina. I mean, he's right in the heart of ACC territory, but 6'6", 6'7", not a big three-point shooter. The interest wasn't there, and all he's done since getting to college is just put up numbers.
I feel like the term tweener was like an 80s, 90s term. That's not the case anymore. We play positionless more often than not. You see a center around a bunch of basketball players, and that's it.
Gardner working his way on Croswell. Found Beekman, 2 to shoot, long 2. Offensive rebound to Gardner, he'll reset.
Oh, that's just demoralizing. Good defense. You force a tough shot, offensive rebound, and Virginia's smart enough, presence of mind is there to just pull it back out.
4 to shoot. Cutting Clark around Bynum. Did he get it off in time? Not sure. Deflected to Cafaro, and his shot
They foul.
will not go.
Oh, they got a foul.
They got a foul again with no time and a half. Second straight night we've seen Virginia involved in a 0.0 second first half foul.
Cisco Cafaro's going to have to shoot some lonely free throws here, but
if this was indeed before the buzzer, and that's what our officials are checking, was it Cafaro who fouled Eder on the three-pointer at the end of the first half yesterday? I think it was.
God, that was yesterday, man. You think I remember that? Let's see. Good luck getting this one right.
My other question, and I don't know if this is being reviewed, I don't think it is was the Clark shot off before the shot clock violation?
I think he got the shot. Well, it also depends when they call the foul, right? I mean, well, they got .3 back up there, so you're going to bring him back on the foul line. So the foul occurred at .3. There you go.
A.J. Reeves' first foul. Cafaro, 62% or 65% career free throw shooter into this tournament. And he is now 1 for 3 tonight.
Got one shot. Here we go.
Ties the largest lead of the first half for Virginia. Cavaliers scored 30 points in the first half, and yet it feels like by far their best 20 minutes of basketball this season. They hold Providence to 15. Franklin and Gardner dominant. Virginia's defense looking like a classical version of Virginia's defense. They double up the Friars in the first 20 minutes. 30-15, your halftime score in the Roman Legends Classic final. Now back to Zubin Mehenti for the E-Trade halftime report. You're watching ESPN's Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. Somebody's going to get to hoist that trophy in 20 minutes. Be the champion of this 4-team event. Right now, Virginia's looking good. Doubling up Providence here at the Roman Legends Classic. Kevin Brown, John Crispin back with you. We weren't math majors. Were you a math major?
No, definitely not.
Okay. But we can tell you, and I think you all know, that 15 points, 20 minutes, it's not a lot in a basketball game, but that's what Virginia does at their best.
Yeah, they really are. It's been a physical game. Their defense has been good, but, you know, it is Feast Week. It is Thanksgiving, and there's a lot to be thankful for. I am personally thankful for Armand Franklin and Jaden Gardner. They actually scored the basketball. Thank God that someone scored in this game. Again, I don't mean to diminish the defensive effort on both teams. I don't mean to diminish the truth that this has been a physical game, and one of those was actually a banked-in three. Jaden Gardner's really good when he gets the matchup he likes, and if he gets the position he likes and the matchup he likes, he's really a tough cover. Playing him at the 4, maybe even mixing him in at the 3 from time to time may give you more opportunities to score on that low block. But goodness gracious, 30-15, and that's a halftime score.
First half stats brought to you by Carvana. Virginia's done so well playing without fouling too. It's been physical, but Providence has only taken 2 free throws.
Oh, there he is. That is just physical play. And look, it's been good physical. I thought he got clobbered on that play, but watching it back one bit, look at every shot contested. Every shot contested, every cut contested with the body. You're going to have to earn every single basket you get, even every single shot attempt you get, and that's why there's not a lot of rhythm.
Franklin Gardner, 24, the Virginia 30. Providence, led by Horkler, with 6. Durham's got 5. Watson's got 4, and that's it. This pass off the hands of Shedrick is a Virginia turnover. Jared Bynum quickly down the lane, and Bynum will shoot Providence's 3rd and 4th free throws of the game.
I would say early in the second half, you want to get to the basket as quickly as possible if you're Providence. And sometimes getting to the basket doesn't lead to an automatic shot, but it at least collapses the defense. Get the defense chasing the play. Don't let the defense of Virginia dictate where the ball goes, because that's what they did in the first half, and that's why you have 15 points.
Jared Bynum, 12 for 16 at the foul line this year. Second year with Providence, and that foul was Armand Franklin's 3rd. So if not full crisis mode, you're up by 14. It's something worrisome for Tony Bennett. He has to take out his leading scorer 22 seconds into the half.
Say worrisome for the people that like offense.
Which is everyone.
It's like the whole world of basketball.
We're going on about what we have to be thankful for, and Franklin's out of the game. We'll have to be thankful for somebody else. Cody Statman is off the bench for UVA. And here is Statman off a cut. Kihei Clark did not score. A couple of assists in the first half. Beekman had 2 assists as well. Shedrick knocked away by Watson, who's playing with 2 fouls. Shedrick elevates high over Watson, but not a smooth finish, and Watson has his 2nd rebound.
That was a really high elevation shot. Just not exactly soft touch off the glass.
Bynum not exactly logo range on that delivery. And here's Virginia with the ball after holding Providence to 15 points in the first half. 6 for 23 for the field. Friars have hit just 1 3-pointer in the game. They had 14 last night. Shedrick into Watson. And Shedrick was tied up. Jump ball, Providence ball.
Shedrick just doesn't have that offensive game yet. I like the fact that they're going at Watson, maybe possibly to get him out of the game early. But Watson's experienced. He understands how not to foul. He understands how to play back, body up.
Watson fouled here by Shedrick, and he just picked up his third, and he'll immediately walk over to the bench. He knows he's out of the game, and Cafaro will replace him.
Cafaro's had a good game when he's been in. Doesn't always show up in scoring. And that's something Shedrick will learn on that play if you jump early, right? Little things like jump to the ball, right? That's kind of like it, right? As a big, you got to jump up, take that passing lane away, because if you're late, you have to foul to get position.
Watson over Cafaro. Watson scores. Silky delivery, a fist pump down the floor. Maybe that will get Nate Watson going. That was a backcourt violation against Gardner. Statman in a bad spot. Virginia a little too sped up, and Providence gets the ball back, trying to make this a single-digit lead.
Well, you have to think every dead ball situation or made basket, you're going to have to pick up in pressure. And the pressure is not always just to get a steal, again, be disruptive, and maybe only play half-court defense for 15 seconds and not 30.
Friars have the first 4 points of the second half. Bynum, Watson on the slip, Watson on the catch. Watson's left-handed finish wouldn't go.
How was that not a travel?
I do not know. I was wondering the same thing. You know, in the middle of the call sometimes you can't get to it. I'm glad you cleaned it up. I thought you would.
Yeah, you were excited on that call. You were into it.
There's been so little offense in this game. I'll take anything. Gardner facing up Horkler. You can't give him that.
I like that game, right? You don't see a lot of that. Now, part of the reason why you don't see a lot of that is the rest of the team on offense tends to just run into your way, right? They just run right into your path. They stayed away, allowed that ISO, and just go ahead and make a play.
Gardner with a dozen, 5 for 6 from the field. Watson wants the seal on Cafaro. Cafaro defending without fouling. Very physical in the post. Bynum 2 to shoot. He doesn't know it. It's a shot clock violation before the foul.
Your defense has been good. It really has been good. I mean, look, we laugh at times mocking the lack of offense as we watch good offense here again. Everybody's staying out of his way. There's no help. It's a simple ISO, and you got a guy who can make a 10, 12-footer. 9 times out of 10, go to it. And this is what I talked about. The dead ball situation, scores, you've got to pick up and pressure.
That's where Statman had turned it over a couple of possessions ago. Clark this time, he got Horkler flying by him, and he hits a 3.
That's part of the challenge with picking up that pressure. You end up sprinting back, maybe closing out too far, then it leads to a pump fake and an easy shot for a guy like Kie Clark. It's not going to get a ton of those off. But if you close out too hard, the pump fake flyby, he's going to be wide open.
His first basket tonight, and he guards the ball so brilliantly. Bynum has had no room to operate against him. Franklin over Beekman draws the foul. Reese Beekman's second foul, 2 shots coming for Al Durham.
Yeah, the best on-ball defenders also know how to be patient on the offensive. Just a great textbook pump fake. But you look at him on the other side, the best defenders never get off balance. And the whole idea of being an offensive player with the ball, you want to get your defender off balance. That's what gives you an advantage. Kie Clark is never off balance or out of balance or whatever you say. Unbalanced, imbalanced.
I actually think all 4 of those terms work appropriately.
All right.
I think you found some sort of a grammatical loophole right now. You've traveled to an ethereal plane of imbalanced existence, John Crispin.
You had me at ethereal plate or whatever you said. Plane?
Plane, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Ethereal plate is what we'll be eating in 2 days.
Does that take off out of Newark?
Does anything?
Time.
Gardner. And Gardner is fouled.
Spacing's good. The problem for Providence is if you're going to pick up full court, which is fine. You gotta pick up the pace of this game. But in the half court, you got to get back to being disciplined in the half court. They are really chasing the ball too much defensively in the half court.
Durham picks up his second foul. And Gardner hits the first. You see they're chasing the ball too much in the half court?
And because they're scrambling back. It's really hard to teach scramble. Everybody does scramble drills in practice, but they're pressing a little bit, trying to, trapping up top in bad areas in the half court, or excuse me, the full court. But as you get back, you need to locate, identify, communicate, and don't send two to the basketball in the first pass. First pass, two guys went to it, and you're scrambling, you're chasing the ball.
Gardner hits two more, 14 for him.
And it's easier said than done, but it requires a lot more communication than your normal half-court defense.
If nothing else, playing Virginia is a learning experience, right? Especially early in the season. Durham backs it high off the window.
He celebrated that like he meant to do. And I like out there, too. I always liked him in Indiana. A good teammate. Versatile guy. He needs to be more of a scorer as the season goes on and they get comfortable with one another.
Long arms of Durham, flanking Reese Beekman. Trying to find Clark on the cut. He does. Beautiful offense for Virginia. Clark with his second three and a half.
You talk and you prep for teams, you think about scouting report, they say, well, Clark not a shooter, but he will make shots. Well, then you can't let him get wide open shots. It's just a great read of bouncing back to the baseline because the defender tried to cheat and go on.
Orkler from Bynum. And Cooley takes a timeout. We have not hit the under 16 yet, and Ed wants to lead us there. It was a 15-point game at the half. It's a 15-point game after 5 minutes and 3 seconds in the second. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Our Thanksgiving week lineup: NBA, college football, NHL, and more college football. The Egg Bowl on Thursday, Bedlam on Saturday, games that have New Year's 6 implications. Sixers and Warriors tomorrow night on ESPN, and then an Original Six showdown on ABC Friday afternoon. The Rangers and the Bruins, ESPN and ABC, all on the ESPN app. As we celebrate Happy Thanksgiving with our friend, our producer Joe McCoy has deemed this creature Keto Turkey Lou.
Oh, that's great. I think it's awesome. And he asked me, or you guys asked me, or whoever it was, I can't tell if it's somebody in my ear, guy next to me, what I would name him, and I just said Frank.
Frank, I asked you that, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Because I trust in your creativity.
Yeah.
And you did not disappoint. 2-on-1, Gardner. Oh, Gardner, offensive foul. Trying to do to Watson what Watson did to Barron, and Gardner will be called for the foul.
I don't know about you. I wasn't believing any bit of this being a dunk. Nate Watson was in position, and I've never seen Jaden Gardner elevate enough to be able to throw that down. He had a foot on the line. Not a chance of dunking that thing.
Nate Watson was holding his left leg in the huddle after Jaden Gardner tried to dunk over him on the final play before the timeout. Gardner was called for a charge, his first foul, and Watson is, it appears, moving a little bit gingerly out on the floor right now, grabbing the back of his left leg.
So there are two types of business decisions on the basketball court when someone's steaming at you, trying to dunk on you. The one is just, not get dunked on, right? Foul or get out of the way, kind of avoid it, contest the shot. The other one is, do I really want to stand here and take this charge? I mean, Jaden Gardner's a big dude. That's like a tight end coming your way.
6'6", 246 list price. Watson still with the 2 fouls. Minaya nearly threw it away, and Goodine was there to rescue it. Trying to find some offense off the bench. Maybe Goodine can deliver. He had 4 threes yesterday. Minaya, Statman all over him. Minaya behind the back. Orkler from Minaya. Fouled, and he'll shoot 3.
I feel like by mid-season, Providence is going to realize they can fake that ball screen, coming off that ball screen, just reverse dribble, feed the post. Nate Watson had position down there. If you just fake going into the paint, spin dribble, reverse dribble, whatever you want to call it, and just feed the post. It was there. He had to see it. You just got to be patient enough. Maybe you watch it enough on tape, and you make that adjustment.
I wonder how tough is it to be patient when you're looking at 27 points, 6 minutes into the second half against this Virginia defense.
You know, it's funny, when you're in the game, you don't look at that as much. You're playing possession to possession. And ultimately, you want to be able to play a game that is up and down, rhythm and flow. I mean, at this point, you're really playing each possession. So I don't think you're forcing anything because you're so far down. Not with 15 minutes left to play.
Workler 3 for 3 at the line. Statman. And it was knocked away by Goodine. It will stay with Virginia.
Statman's just got to make his mind up there. You're either going to attack the basket or you're going to start to look and probe where that defense is coming from behind.
Cafaro inside, lost it. Turnover, Virginia, their 9th. Still without Franklin with the 3 fouls. That's blocked by Cafaro as Durham hit a wall, and then Statman is fouled.
I think Cafaro's been good. You know, he's not that shot blocking presence as we see Armand Franklin coming back into the game. He's not this shot blocking presence, but he's got that wall up, right? You know, he does a good job with the wall up, and officials are doing a much better job of rewarding the defender that just plays straight up. And it doesn't mean not calling a certain foul. It just means you're rewarding the defender for doing what they're supposed to do with the rights that they're granted as a defender.
So the second foul there against Minaya. Franklin is back into the game for Statman. Franklin trying to get free off a cut here. Cafaro one-on-one with Watson. Cafaro travels.
I like Watson, man. I really do. He just plays with an intensity and a physical. He doesn't move. He doesn't move. He doesn't give up any ground. And Cafaro's a big dude playing a good game. Watson's a fighter, man.
Like Cooley said, I won't take another big man in the country over him. First team preseason All Big East looking for the ball here. Watson is stuffed by Cafaro. We got a foul. Cafaro might walk out of the building. Tony Bennett's as mad as we've seen him in a couple of games. This will merit a second look, methinks.
Cafaro looks like a young Rocky Balboa at times. He does. He's got a little look to him.
Oh, gosh, I cannot see that now.
Yeah, now you got it. Like a Rocky II kind of guy. Like, he's pretty chiseled, but not full-on Rocky III Eye of the Tiger.
Watson bricks the first.
Yeah, I want to see this one again. I'm reserving judgment. I like the high-low seal. Great. He spins, holds his seal. Great find. Not a foul.
No. Ball don't lie. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Look, he may not have stepped in. Beekman may not have stepped in, but when you're doing the Saquon Barkley right in front of the shooter, I think that's got to get called. It was like Saquon in college. He hasn't really done much yet.
You know, Giants offensive line and all that. And Watson missed it again. He got a third chance. Providence cannot sneak within a dozen. Clark with a step into Watson. Check that basketball. Make sure it's still fully inflated.
Hey, first off, the best job he did was just, again, go straight up. Hands were straight up. A lot of times you get that foul when you drop your hands early. His hands stayed up. He waited until the spike was there. Those free throws are big, though. I feel like you got a gift on that foul call. And you missed the opportunity, and there's Gardner. Man, mid-range game.
Send Watson in the line, feel like he can make it a 10-point game. Yep. All of a sudden, he's out. It's 14. Probably trying to get him to the under 12 right now, Ed Cooley.
Screen, re-screen. And again, driving into trouble. just hasn't been anything there.
Croswell denied that time. Franklin moves so much without the ball. Minaya in his grill. Franklin stepping back. Clark won't take it.
He almost has to play like Reggie Miller, Rip Hamilton, and everybody can settle down. I'm not saying that's who he is. I'm just saying the movement helps his team.
Gardner, an offensive rebound. Can he save it? No, he can't. Horkler picks it up for Providence.
I'm saying you need a good mover on the offensive end, somebody that can get the defense to chase him. This is a big shot. You knew it was going in. Weird time. Sometimes you just see a shot and you know it's going in. That is a big shot to stop the bleeding, get it to 11.
And Minaya with a deflection. Minaya dives, saved it to Goodine, who is fouled. All-out effort from Justin Minaya, the Jersey kid out of Huntington Park, playing in front of the home crowd essentially, and he sends Providence into the under 12 with a surge.
So Kevin, the reason why the shot was so big is it picks the energy up, it gives you confidence. Pretty sure he stepped on the line, but great energy, great effort. Friar's gonna make this a ball game.
But the Zags might be bluer than the Blue Bloods. Two great teams.
Gonzaga and Duke.
Two diaper dandies. Experience Gonzaga Duke Friday at 10:30 on ESPN.
Should be some phenomenal crowds in Vegas tonight for Zaga UCLA. Friday night for Gonzaga Duke. Some Wahoo fans in the building, some Friar fans as well. I'm not going to take it for granted ever again to be calling college basketball in front of any people after what we went through last season. A season played mostly in empty arenas and in some very limited capacity arenas, and even the small crowds at the start of the season feel like they have double the juice.
Whatever, dude. In 5 years, you're going to forget all about it. I don't want to hear it.
Forget what?
You're going to forget all about like the COVID year, the craziness, calling games from homes and missing out on this. It's going to be back to normal at some point, but I think it is important this year in particular to really appreciate it, just like we did. Look, I think we all appreciated that we had an NCAA tournament last year. I think there are little things that happen that we don't realize how much work went into actually having an NCAA tournament all in Indianapolis where every team was. That was special, and that brings us to where we're at today. You got guys that have been in college for 6 years on many teams, crazy roster changes. It's going to be an interesting year.
Could be an interesting final 11:40. It's a 10-2 Providence run. Minaya gets a steal up in the air for grabs, and Durham grabbed it. He'll feed Horkler. Not even close. Would have cut it to 6, and the rebound to Poindexter.
I was just a little too excited in that shot. A whole lot of adrenaline in that heave.
Virginia dealing a little pressure here, not dealing well. Clark just barely got it across half court in time. It was almost a 10-second violation. We've seen in the past Virginia teams struggle with full court press. Durham will draw the offensive foul, number 4 against Armand Franklin. Let's see. One Indiana teammate saying, "There you go, I got you," to his ex-Indiana teammate.
Well, Durham did a good job, but he did throw the head back a little bit. So it's funny that they're trying to call that as a flop if you throw your head back, yet you did get the charge. The charge forced you backwards, and the only way to really get that call is sometimes to show that the contact was made by throwing your head back.
He certainly sold it, but there was contact. Lead is down to 9, first single-digit lead since there was 9:51 to go in the first. Goodine, foul, he hits a 3! A chance for 4, and Providence is alive!
That was a bold shot. Good execution using Nate Watson on the baseline as a screener. Now the key with that offense is, look, yeah, great to get this look, but ultimately you're going to screen and Nate Watson's going to pin down. The fact that you got that look, have an additional shot from the foul line, that's just a bonus.
Malachi Poindexter committed the foul. Goodine, a career-high 12 yesterday. Can't make it 4. Look at the fight for the board. And it's Beekman who comes out of the fray for Virginia.
Oh, and they are picking up. They're going to continue to press. Looked like a shot clock issue. Shot clock didn't start. Look, if anybody's celebrating the shot clock issue and not restarting the shot clock, It's Providence. They get to set up this pressure again that they've had great success with. And it's not just getting the stop or getting the ball back. It's about changing the entire energy and feel of the game.
It's a 13-2 Providence run in the span of 4 minutes and 16 seconds. Officials want to get the shot clock time right. As you said, only 1 second came off.
I think we should go with approximation at this point in the game, right? 10:39 left. I would say about 5 seconds went off. Let's see.
It went to 20 there for a second. So we got a countdown from 10:44. We're all fixated on the monitor once again.
What did I say? 5, 6 seconds?
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
I think 5. Shout out to the music folks for playing Chicago's Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is? Which, of course, the following line is, does anybody really care? 24 seconds, 23, yeah.
Respect to my approximation point.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
What's time should be on the shot clock? 25 or 6 to 4.
So right now, if you're Ed Cooley, though, you're keeping the energy for your guys high. And I like they got Nate Watson out of the game because they are going to pick up and pressure defensively. Yet not just, there's a ton of time left, right? It's 42-36. Now, a 6-point lead for Virginia is like a 12-point lead against anybody else. But still, 10:40 left in this game. You want to keep the energy high. It's not just about the steal. It's about changing the entire feel of the game.
And Virginia does get it across half court with Clark, and Minaya and Durham once again doubling. And Clark, I think, stepped out of bounds.
He called timeout.
Oh, he called timeout. Yes, Virginia will use its first timeout of the half.
It's good to know that you're in a bad spot. Kihei Clark, smart enough to know he wasn't in the spot he was going to have any success from.
All right, Feast Week rolls on tomorrow afternoon into evening. The Bad Boy Mowers battle for Atlantis at the Ballroom in the Bahamas at Paradise Island. 3 ranked teams, including the defending national champs in Baylor. Michigan State, Loyola kick it all off. Auburn and UConn, really interesting game after that.
Yeah.
Syracuse, VCU, Baylor, Arizona State. What do you like about this field?
Well, I wish Auburn and UConn weren't playing in the first round because I think they're 2 of the best teams there. I obviously like Baylor. Baylor's one of those teams that I don't think they get enough credit for, yeah, we say culture, but it's also development, right? They're really developing basketball players, and year in, year out, I think they're going to be one of those new mainstays. But I really like that UConn team. We're going to see them here in Newark on the 11th of December against St. Bonaventure's, which could be a really high level. That could be like a Sweet 16 level game.
Bonnie's won the Charleston Classic. Beat Clemson, beat Marquette.
You are doing that game, right?
As far as I know. But depending on how this thing ends up, though.
I don't want to tease you with something that you haven't been invited. It's like, telling you about a party that you weren't invited to. I'm sure that's never happened.
Yeah. Definitely. Johnny asked me about it. I know about that. No plans. Statman off the inbound. The foul was Horkler's 3rd for Providence. Watson still out of the game. Horkler battling, knocked it away from Gardner, and Croswell has the steal. That's 14 Virginia turnovers. Some years you might only say that 2 times a year. Goodine for 3. Oh, it's halfway down. Minaya keeps it alive. Croswell will reset. Durham backing down Beekman. Durham spins, blocked by Reese. Beekman, an exceptional defender, 12 to shoot for the Friars.
I like the situation Durham had there, but I don't like the fact that you have cutters running right at him. I will never understand the overcutting on the offensive side when someone has an ISO advantage. And I'm sorry, at this level, if you have an ISO situation and you're in a good position, you have the advantage. Just stay out of his way.
Goodine again. Watson just into the game. He almost traveled and he almost made the shot. He didn't travel and he didn't make it.
But you still have to keep this pressure up and attack Statman if he's got the basketball.
He seemed the most uncomfortable handling. He'll get it into the hands of Clark.
Look, I've been there, I ain't gonna lie. It ain't easy, but you just have to be strong with the basketball. Be tough if you're gonna be on the floor against this type of pressure.
Beekman is the cutter here. Beekman, Statman, open, deep. And Minaya soaring for the rebound. He's done so many things in the game without scoring. Transfer from South Carolina, Jersey native Justin Minaya has added a lot of different skills to this team. Watson got position on Shedrick. Watson muscles it up, and Shedrick did well.
Great
Not
defense.
to foul, playing with 3, and he got the rebound.
Great defense. You don't understand how hard it is to defend when you stay wide and strong and high at the same time without giving up ground.
Beekman, Watson coming over for the help, and Shedrick's there for the putback because Watson vacated that area.
A little bit of a breakdown there. There was a shift in terms of the flow of the game where it got slow for a second. Providence has to keep the intensity up throughout the entire possession.
Tony Bennett wants a moving screen against Torkler there. Would have been his 4th foul. It wasn't called. Torkler cuts one for Goodine. Durham trying to facilitate.
Yeah, back into the flex here. This is interesting. And you get something out of it.
You got Horkler with a look. Pretty good one. Rebound to Clark. Again, Durham and Minaya will double. Clark passes out of it. And make sure you get across half court here. Beekman just does.
He split 3. It's crazy to think that flex offense, they got a good look, and had the pass come sooner, it would have been a layup, made layup.
Gardner backing down Durham. Gardner finishes strong. Chance for one more. That is what he does.
Look, we know this has been a physical game, and as a coaching staff, all you can ask your guys is not to go out and match physicality. It's just go be the toughest group on the floor. Hard to match toughness without fouling. Just go be who you are, out tough your opponent. Jaden Gardner just did it.
Zubin Mehenti in our college basketball studio over on ESPN News. Kofi Coburn and company get it done, rallying to defeat Kansas State 72-64. Fellas, back to you.
Kind of an odd start for the Illini, Zubin. Here in Newark, our Roman game track. Gardner and Franklin, the 2 transfers, the 2 players expected to be impact scorers have been. Providence has clawed back into the game, but they have still not shot well overall. They've had a little bit of a lull here, 1 for their last 7.
Yeah, our little guy, Hito Turkey-Loo. Yeah, he's thankful for Gardner and Franklin today. 32 points. It's necessary because it allows Virginia to do what they do best, and it's really focused on that defensive end where you have a few guys that can score it in the half court or create opportunities for scoring. And what I mean by create opportunities, when you have new pieces, it takes time to figure out how they work in a game situation. So Tony Bennett and staff are looking at creating options in their offense that allow guys like Gardner, allow guys like Franklin to maybe run the baseline tight curls to actually do what they do. That's score in certain areas.
Providence got a 17-point lead this half, down to 6. Virginia's got it back up to 11. A 3-point play for Gardner. 7 of 8 for the field, 5 of 5 at the line, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 33rd career double-double. Minaya. And there was a foul, I think, before the Shedrick block. It'll be on Statman before the block shot by Shedrick. First foul on Statman. Providence is in the double bonus.
If you're going to the rim in this game, you know it's going to be highly contested. Which means there's going to be shot blockers, but you're also going to have to deal with the bodies. And Minaya did a good job slowing his body down. Holy smokes. That brought the Toyota RAV4 there into the frame.
65% career free throw shooter.
I hope he makes it. There you go.
He did. More pressure from Providence. This is with Watson in the game. They drop him back. Still no Franklin on the bench with 4 fouls for Virginia. On the bench most of this second half. Gardner was thinking about a screen. He calls it off because he wants Clark on Watson. And Clark got the shot off, but Goodine gets the rebound with under 7 to play in a 10-point game. Goodine, hard charging. Shedrick altered the shot. Providence wants a foul. They don't get it. Gardner again, around Minaya. That's just absolutely brilliant by Jaden Gardner, whose almost perfect game continues offensively.
You know, it was brilliant by Jaden Gardner, but ultimately it was Beekman recognizing Gardner had the matchup advantage, and he cleared. You don't understand how often guys just stand and bring their own defender into the frame. He cleared, allowed Jaden Gardner to do what he did. That's what I'm talking about. There's the help. There's Goodine with the help. But you see him float away. It's because Beekman left the play. Let Gardner sit in an ISO situation where, yes, here he is. Just get away, get away. Now he's got room to work. Sometimes being a decoy is a good thing when you're playing to win a basketball game. I know as a kid I never really got that, but the more you watch the game, the more you realize that the best thing you can do at times is take your man away.
I love that spot. It's one of the little things that makes Virginia great. It's a guy in Beekman who's only 1 for 7, but has affected the game in so many different ways.
Well, he didn't get it at first because I was about to yell clear, just clear. Like I saw him standing right there, but it was like a split second. Then he's like, all right, I'm going to slide over, and he did it. And that's what allows your players to make plays. And when you don't maximize possessions in a game, you have to maximize efficiency. To maximize efficiency, you have to look at certain matchups and capitalize on them. This right here, that's efficiency. 21 points, 8 of 9 from the field, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, and oh, by the way, 11 rebounds. Yeah, I'd say that transfer's making sense. Second half, too. Jeez. This guy, I'm telling you, it's just about the matchup. And if you look at all the Virginia offensive bodies standing around, you'd say, what are they doing offensively? Well, they're allowing one of their best players to make plays. The game isn't all about, you know, helter-skelter movement. At times, it's about changing speeds, changing directions, and at times, standing still. If you want to play a spread offense, sometimes standing still is the best thing you can do.
You know, as an unbiased observer of the game, I'm happy for Jaden Gardner, having covered the American, watched him 3 years in a row. He was a great player on a team that just frankly didn't win that much, was never competitive in the league at East Carolina, but a kid who had no ACC interest from the heart of ACC country in Wake Forest, North Carolina. He did his thing. He stuck it out for 3 years. The team got better around him, but he had a chance to do something different this year, and he could play for a team that could compete in the ACC, get back to the NCAA tournament. Shedrick with a two-hand stuff, great hustle, and it was last off of Shedrick with 5 to shoot.
Talk about two-hand stuff. That was a two-elbow stuff. Shedrick has been there, and you see the eyeballs of Shedrick. He's there. Yep, I brought that with my forearms. But back to Jaden Gardner, the other thing is when you consider the kids you're bringing in, I never saw him have bad body language. And if I'm Tony Bennett, I'm watching that as much as I'm watching production.
Minaya, three-pointer, long. Gardner clears out his 12th rebound.
Body language tells you a lot about how someone will fit in. If you see a kid with bad body language, it means he's got selfish expectations. Things affect me a certain way, and it matters more than it affects the team. Jaden Gardner played at Eastern Carolina with no bad body language. It's not a team that won at a high level, yet he performed at a high level. He performed at a first-team All-AAC level, and you bring him in here, and he's a humble, willing teammate. I mean, sometimes it is nice to get some bucket getters, though.
They just brought another one of those in Franklin, who had 14 of the first 26 points, has not scored since.
It's all about balance. Just can't have 10 bucket getters and no Jaden Gardner's good teammates.
Gardner against Goodine. They got to love this matchup. He passes out of it, though. Gardner again, this time around Durham. Gardner spinning. Gardner turning it over.
I like that they're playing through him, though.
Durham deep one. Not close. Right to Watson. Heck of a pass. Watson's got 8. Clark on Watson again. Watson still lingering out there. Clark wants it back. We got Bynum guarding Shedrick. Clark. Short. Another rebound for Gunnar. Bynum trying to take it into Franklin, playing with 4 fouls.
That was good defense. Really good transition defense. You have no idea how hard it is to defend in the open court like that when you're being backed up on your heels.
You don't think I have any idea?
No, you don't.
Great experience with that in my days at St. Christopher CYO. Watson, mauled, out to Bynum from Durham, and that would have made it a 7-point game. That would have made it 8. Watson thought he got hacked. There was some real contact on that possession for Virginia, and it was not called.
I think guys are doing a good job with the wall up. There has been a lot of contact on both ends. It's been allowable. Meaning the contact has been allowable.
Sure.
Contact.
Clark penetrating. Ooh, had a lane there. He didn't realize it. Gardner into Horkler. And Horkler will be called for his 4th foul. It's been Jaden Gardner's night. Virginia by 10 in the closing stretch. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Roman, the digital health clinic for men, and by TicketSmarter. Experience the excitement of live events with TicketSmarter. Excitement.
Zuber Mahenti in our college basketball studios. Coming up in just about 13 minutes from now, Cincinnati with Wes Miller getting ready to take on Muss and Arkansas. That is moments away. And over on ESPN at the top of the hour, Drew Timme, number 1 Gonzaga, number 2 UCLA. First time top 2 teams have met where both are from the West Coast. Back to the East Coast, fellas.
Should know about.
In 3 minutes and 33 seconds, somebody's going to hoist his trophy. Somebody's going to have an awfully happy Thanksgiving.
I love the turkey, man. No, yours was terrible. That's better. I just think for Providence, there were moments in this game down the stretch here where they were able to capitalize on a little bit of a shift in energy. You felt it more so than you saw it, right? You saw guys diving on the floor, but what you felt was a confidence on one end in the comeback. And you felt an urgency just to get the ball up across half court for Virginia. Now Virginia has understood that, look, we're just going to work it. Right? We're just going to work the shot clock. If we get a great shot, great. If not, you're going to play against the set defense. Good luck beating us then.
Lead was 17. Providence cut it to 6, 42-36. They're just 1 for 12 since then. Clark. Shedrick over Bynum. Shedrick decided not to go up at first. He waited patiently, and he scored his first field goal of the second half.
And a big fist bump from Tony Bennett, because you like it when a guy gets the ball in scoring position, is just patient enough, and just makes a simple right play. And Shedrick did it. He's been great defensively. Good to see him score it.
Second basket of the half, should say. 4 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 more blocks for him. That's 19 blocks and 6 starts, and here Shedrick picks up his 4th foul.
Yeah, that's the block he's got to avoid, right? I mean, you've got to anticipate that. You've got to be on the hip of the screener and just jump up, meet the ball handler before he gets to you, and that way you're forcing that ball handler up around you, allowing the guy to get underneath and recommit to the ball, and then you retreat hands high. I mean, again, Jay Huff wasn't the most skilled guy in the world, but over his time, he figured out how to be a good ball screen defender as a big. And that's something they do very well. Very physical on ball screens.
Durham's first missed free throw of the tournament. Now 11 for 12 in the 2 games. Lead is 11, under 3 to play. Championship game in the Roman Legends Classic. Saw Northwestern beat Georgia handily in the 3rd place game earlier tonight. One of these teams will leave here with a 2-0 record and a championship trophy. Shedrick fighting for position on Watson. Shedrick into Watson. Shedrick missed it. Rebound Minaya.
Okay, though. That's something you can live with. Again, clappable miss, right? You like that shot.
Mania trying to back down Franklin with the 4 fouls. And Shedrick picks up his 5th block. You'll believe a man can fly.
I mean, that's almost one of those, hey, Armand, I got you. I got your back, where you just hold your ground, wall up, play straight up, and trust your shot blockers to make the play. That's the way you should play team defense.
It's a player who did not play much last year, just 11 games. He missed a bunch of games with illness. He had mono. His weight fluctuated a season ago. He's in much better shape now. He's playing more minutes. Still got to avoid the fouling. He had big foul trouble yesterday, but you see the top recruit that he was coming out of high school. You see the impact he can have on the game defensively. And I love what they just did. Like you said, I love that they went back to him and fed him again. Even if he didn't make the shot in the post, he had some good position.
Yeah, and very few guys, especially bigs, are just great right away. They have to learn how to play. They have to learn how to work without space and create space on the offensive end. There's so many things you have to learn how to do to be comfortable and confident on the floor, right? You don't just come in and say the game's easy. No, the game's hard. You got to do a lot of little things right to be effective, and Shedrick's learning that.
They're on the 3. Well, Providence has not hit from the outside. 3 for 18 from 3. 1 for their last 14 field goals in the game since they cut the lead to 6. Beekman scores, plus a foul. Reese Beekman, his 2nd basket, and Virginia has all but salted this one away.
And I feel like over the last couple days, I've said this a lot, I really like this kid. And what I like is just that calm, cool approach. He gets to the basket, he elevates really well, he's good defensively. I like him with the ball in his hands, and at times throughout the course of this season, I could see them playing Kie Clark off the ball more. Right? Beekman's not seeking out shot opportunities, yet he's good off the bounce. And you may have an advantage there if you play Kie off the ball a little bit more. I really do. This Beekman, he's got a really good demeanor about himself.
Sophomore from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Leads him in assists, leads him in steals. Tonight, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. He's played 36 minutes as well. I think Clark have basically played the whole game.
But he's showing that he's a guy you can trust. He's not going to go out and get you 30 points, but you can trust him on the floor to make good decisions, make the right plays. And that allows guys like Franklin, again, to roam freely, to be aggressive, cutting without the basketball. And Jaden Gardner to that. You have pieces here that once they all figure out who one another is, and once Tony Bennett and staff figures out how to use them all, good stuff coming.
Wow, Beekman down the field to Clark.
Probably the easiest basket of the night, wouldn't you say? It's been hard fought.
The first 94 points were a lot more physical than the last 2. Looked like Brennan Armstrong on Saturdays. Goodine hoists. Clark rebounds. And the one thing that you can look at in the stat sheet for Virginia that you don't like, 15 turnovers, but they've shot it at 49%. They're 6 of 11 from 3, and they have defended absolutely brilliantly. Does not look anything like the team that lost to Navy 2 weeks ago.
No, and the truth is, they're not the same team, and that's going to be the case throughout the country. You're going to say that a lot. Well, this doesn't look like the team that lost to so-and-so. Well, it's because everybody's different every single week. Sure. And as much as we say all these games matter, yeah, they matter because it allows teams to get better. And you're going to learn a little something about yourself. But the reality is, I can't believe he was allowed to get that one. The reality is, at the end of the season, these games don't matter as much. You're going to be a different team, and you just need to use these as an opportunity to get better. The opportunity to prepare for 2 games in a tournament setting and bring what you need to bring. Prepare quickly for a team that you didn't know you were going to play last night.
You think back to a week ago after Virginia lost at Houston by 20. They had the Navy loss on their resume. Yeah. You look at this team, you go, how were they picked as high as 4th in the ACC? And then 1 week later, Virginia figures itself out a little bit, starts to look more like Virginia. They hold Providence to 40 points, and they roll in the championship game of the Roman Legends Classic. 58-40, your final score.
Yeah, and I think they really responded to some adversity, but first and foremost, they started to figure out who they are individually, and then who they are together as one, still all centered around what they do, and that's defense.
Armand Franklin at an early 14. Jade Gardner 10 in the first half, 11 in the second, a game-high 21 points. Virginia in November, about as automatic as it comes. Their 7th win in their last 8 November tournaments. So Providence at Northwestern each leave with a win. Georgia 0-2. Virginia 2-0. Fun little week here. Hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving, John.
Yeah, you as well.
Hope everybody at home enjoys their Thanksgivings. Eat a lot of turkey, eat a lot of ham, eat a lot of mashed potatoes, eat a lot of mac and cheese, just eat it all. Let's go back to the studio now with Zubin and Fran to set you up for the rest of a great night of college basketball.